and culture starts with the people on the ground. And, baseball being a team sport, it's very difficult for one guy to win a championship for a team, right? Like you need a starting rotation, you need all these things. And so you talk about if you can try give your absolute best effort to like whatever it is you have that day, that being the most important thing to you. If you can start to like where it's like, man, I've got 4 or 5 guys in my rotation that are starting to do that. I've got guys, my catcher is doing that every single day. If you can do that, that's what takes those teams, like those St. Louis teams, and during that time frame, you guys were, every year. And there was it's not a surprise why every single year it was like St. Louis is going to be there at the end.
Yeah,
they're going to be there at the
end.
It doesn't matter where they're at in July or August, because they're going to keep stacking days and they're going to be there at the very end of the season. And I think that has a lot more to do with the culture than it does just the guys on the roster.
Yeah. I would have a spring training meeting at the end of like the last week once they, every year that had, when they finalize the starting rotation, it would just be us 5.
Yeah.
And we'd go into the conference room and sit, and the expectation of our 5 starting pitchers is different than anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I would make sure that was known, right? It's really cool to pitch in the big leagues. It's cool if I pitched for the Oakland A's, it would have been great. Like, it's just a neat job, right? Toronto, wherever you're playing, Cleveland. But the expectation level here is going to be different. And we're not just the Oakland A's. We're going to be the St. Louis Cardinals pitching staff that is going to have standards and expectations each and every day to be different than others. Now, how are we going to do that? Mentally, physically prepared, all those things. And we're going to hold each other accountable for all that. So if you didn't show up on time, I got in your ass. If you were late for your bullpen while all of us were standing out there, because that's what we did.
Yep.
Besides the starter that day, the other 4 guys or 3 guys were out there watching you throw your bullpen.
Were you guys the first that was, because it's very common now, the escort in, but were you guys really like the first team that the other guys watch bullpens and like walk guys in from the bullpen?
I'm talking about
I'm saying bullpen.
Your work day, not
game
day,
not the warm up.
Not warm up in the bullpen in the game.
No, but I've never seen that before. You guys,
so I'd go
the first,
like my work day. So if I come back and it's my bullpen day, and it's your second day, and it's your 4th day, your part of your routine and work throughout the day, you're running, your workout, your lifting, whatever that looks like, your recovery, is you need to be out there from my pen, not just to be there, but you were involved in it.
Yeah.
So, we stood in on times, like watching pitches. We turned into coaches of our own people, and I expected you to be there, as did you.
Yeah.
And if I didn't show up, it didn't matter if you had 1 year or 100 years in the big leagues, you were going to be a part of it. And if you didn't fit in.
Yeah.
And guess what? You weren't going to be in our rotation very long.
Yeah.
And they're going to go ahead and move you out. You might last a year because of financial commitments, but you're not going to fit in.
Yeah.
And we took real seriousness about that, but also fun. Like I was on board with you every single step of the way. Like I loved watching you. I competed with you every pitch. I paid attention to what you were doing, all that stuff. Like I was in it. It gives me goosebumps now just talking about it.
I will say like the lasting impact that culture, because it became known across the landscape of baseball, like what the Cardinals rotation was, because I got a chance to be a part of some pretty good pitching staffs in Cleveland, and we had a really good rotation for a few years. You got Corey Kluber had 2 Cy Youngs. Carlos Carrasco was always right there in the mix. There's a lot of guys there and one of the things that they started doing was exactly what you're talking about. It was like, hey, and Mickey Callaway and Kluber were talking about it. They were like, hey, we need to start doing this. Because we need to be able to hold each other accountable. We want to create a culture of pitching here. We want to set the bar higher for ourselves than everybody else does. And it was all, you guys were the proof of concept for that.
Yeah, but I also bet if you go ask all of them, it wasn't eyewash.
No, it can't be eyewash.
Right, they did it because they cared.
Yeah,
which is, you can go sit out there and be like, yeah, this is great, but be thinking about, your round of golf in the morning.
Yeah.
Or you can be there and be intentional and be present in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you that they were doing that.